Graduands, guests and colleagues, my name is Mary Howarth and I am delighted to welcome you all to graduation. I have a few announcements to make before we begin so that you can relax and enjoy the ceremony. Graduands, at the appropriate time you'll be invited by the stewards to stand and to make your way to the foot of the stairs, ready to head up the stairs and across the stage. It's all very straightforward. There are two key things which make for a seamless ceremony. Firstly, as soon as the person ahead of you begins to cross the stage, please make sure you make your way up the stairs. Please don't wait until they've passed across the stage before you reach the top of the stairs. Secondly, don't let excitement and pride overwhelm you so much that you forget to pick up your degree parchment after you've crossed the stage. If you do, don't worry, you have still graduated, but don't try to go back because you will collide with someone coming the other way. Instead, please visit the Student Hub in Market Square 30 minutes after the ceremony to collect your parchment. At the end of the ceremony, graduates are asked to remain in their seats for a class photograph. Family and friends, the stewards will show you to the exits. If the fire alarm should sound at any point, please remain in your seats. Instructions will be given and we will escort you to the nearest exit. Today we're not only celebrating your graduation, but also the 10th anniversary of Hull York Medical School's first graduating class. I'm delighted to welcome some of our first pioneering cohort of HYMS graduates who are here to celebrate your special day with you. When Hull York Medical School was formed in 2003, which as you know is a partnership between the universities of Hull and York, its aim was to inspire the doctors of the future and to equip them with knowledge and skills needed to transform patient care. Since 2003, the school has trained over 1,400 doctors, and every day these doctors are making an incredible difference to people's lives throughout the region and beyond. It's often said that Hull York Medical School doctors are different to other medical school graduates in that they're prepared for the challenges of working in the NHS from day one. They're considerate, empathetic doctors with excellent communication skills, which is underpinned by sound medical knowledge. Today, you become a member of a very special community of HYMS graduates, and the medical school is building a new online community of Hull York Medical School doctors, researchers, and academics and healthcare professionals in order to connect you to one another wherever you may be. We do hope that you'll keep in touch and update us on your careers wherever they may take you. Finally, please turn off all mobile phones to silent, and will you now please all stand?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of York. I declare this congregation open for the conferment of awards. Please be seated. I open the ceremony this morning with the warmest of welcome to everybody who's joining us here today, and knowing that so many of you have come, not only from across the great county of Yorkshire, but also from Hull, and, of course, from across the entire world. This is a very special ceremony for us today because it marks the 10th graduating class from the joint medical school between Hull and York. And it's a particular opportunity to celebrate an institution that was founded only in 2003 as a joint venture between the two universities. So it gives me particular pleasure also to welcome on the platform today senior leadership from the University of Hull, as well as from the University of York, as a symbol of the way in which this institution has developed over the years. So today we're going to be awarding degrees on the bulk of our graduates who are graduating with a bachelor's degree, who will then be called doctors. But we're also conferring a number of degrees on those who have completed a thesis for PhD, normally at least 3 years, hard and intensive, highly focused work, and also on MDs, doctors of medicine, whose research focus tends to be more related to clinical practice and clinical management. We will also today have the huge pleasure of conferring an honorary degree. Honorary degrees are the highest award that a university can make. They reflect the enormous distinction of those on whom the degree is awarded. And today our recipient is Dame Anne Johnson. More will be said about Dame Anne Johnson by the orator later in the ceremony, but I would simply like today personally to offer her my warmest congratulations on her lifetime of achievement, particularly in population health. In 1930, the Dean of the Medical School at Yale University stood up at a ceremony such as this and announced, he said, "Gentlemen," because of course they all were men, "Gentlemen," he said, "I've been discussing with the faculty that I should make 2 apologies to you this morning. The first apology is that we have realized that 1/2 of what we've taught you was wrong. The second apology is that we don't know which half." And reflecting on that 80 years on, we know that he was absolutely right. The knowledge of medicine and of human biology in 1930 is completely different from that which you have learnt during your time in the Hull York Medical School. Look what's happened in the meantime. And let me just list some of the discoveries that have transformed healthcare and medical science, which have come from this country. Let's start, for example, with penicillin and the antibiotics that developed after penicillin. Let's include in that major drug discoveries in vaccines, in monoclonal antibodies, IVF, CT scanning, the clinical development of MRI scanning, hip replacements, organ transplants. And I would like particularly to mention one area, which is drug pricing, because much of what we've been able to do in this country in holding down the monopolistic power of drug manufacturers has been through an organization called NICE, the National Institute for Clinical and Health Excellence, which came out of painstaking research undertaken here in the University of York by the Centre for Health Economics, and has now been adopted almost worldwide, except in one major country whose president is currently visiting us at the moment. And then one aspect which I would touch on in the great British discoveries, and which I'll return to shortly, is DNA. In 1953, when Crick and Watson first characterized the dual helical structure of the DNA molecule and wrote that extraordinary paper in Nature, it then took us another 40 to 50 years to sequence the first human genome in the year 2001 at a transatlantic effort in which there was literally a race between the two nations and at a price of some £2 billion. Today, we can do that in 24 hours. We have a price under £1,000, and it's coming down to $100. An extraordinary transformation will occur within your lifetimes as practitioners in healthcare. Last week, we were celebrating across the UK the 70th birthday of the National Health Service, a model of universal healthcare that is almost unique in the world. I say almost unique because what it does is to offer to every citizen of this nation free healthcare at the point of clinical need. Not even a charge for attending a GP surgery, which would be unusual in Sweden or Australia or New Zealand. And of course, free healthcare throughout the life course, literally from the cradle to the grave. But Aneurin Bevan, who was the founding father of this extraordinarily bold social experiment, said two things which I think are of relevance to us today. The first is that the motto for the NHS was, in place of fear. Not the fear that everybody has when they are ill and at their most vulnerable and most fearful, but the fear of not being able to access good healthcare because of the lack of personal resources, in place of fear. The second thing that he said was, which I think is of great relevance to us today, is that the NHS, even he could see, must always be changing, must always be growing, must always be evolving. The consequence, he said, was that we must always appear to be inadequate, because we always know that there's something better coming through. So our paradox, and this is not true solely of the NHS, but of every healthcare system in the world, is that to continue to succeed in the future, we must always be impatient with the present. So I think that the Yale confession rings true today as well. That which you have learned will, of course, transform your lives and will transform the lives of the patients that you will have the privilege of serving, and yet without continuing transformation and at an accelerated pace. What we do in providing care to patients will fall behind. So it is, I think, a frustrating truth of modern medicine and modern healthcare that we are still a long way from fully understanding the human condition, of human biology, of the differences that new devices and new technologies can make in terms of diagnosis and treatment of disease. In your professional career, I can foresee we will see a transformation of the design and the availability of drugs, a much greater personalization of medicine in drug production and in the introductions of therapies. We will see a miniaturization of technologies such as MRI scanners, which at the moment occupy a huge room, but which we could foresee realistically may become portable. We will see a transformation in the cost of devices in the way of which we have seen already with computing technology. And we will be able to use data to better characterize the way in which we treat our patients. Which brings me, I think, also to the future of genomics that I touched upon earlier. I've been spending the last 2 or 3 days in deep discussions about the future of genomics within the National Health Service. We can understand that with deep sequencing, the prospect of the Holy Grail, which is a simple blood test, which allows us to assess the presence of cancerous cells in the body completely pre-symptomatically, has the potential to completely transform the way in which we have early identification and improve the prospects of patients who have cancer in their bodies. So what I think we need to do in our thinking about the future for you is to understand, how do we harness these sometimes cold technologies to a compassionate profession of healthcare? People talk about robotics. I haven't yet met a robot who could get out of a chair, walk into the kitchen, make a cup of tea, and bring it back in to a patient. That cool hand on a fevered brow, which is the hallmark, I believe, of any caring profession, but a caring profession that harnesses to it the technologies that make a difference for our patients. What I would say today to our graduating class is, you have chosen the most fantastic profession, and you have chosen the most fantastic time to be a leader of it. And on behalf of the 2 universities, I wish you every possible success for your future. Thank you.
As we celebrate the achievements of students, we also wish to recognise the staff who have contributed to your success. York has an outstanding record of teaching excellence. What students will remember long after graduation, though, are the individual members of staff and postgraduates who teach, who have supported, challenged and inspired them. The Vice-Chancellor's Teaching Awards recognise and reward both individuals and teams who have made an outstanding impact on the student learning experience. All holders of these awards have demonstrated excellence in their teaching or the support they provide for learning that's been delivered with energy, care and commitment. A Vice-Chancellor's Teaching Award has been made to Dr Gabrielle Finn, who was unable to be here today unfortunately, but we congratulate her on her achievement.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Medical Sciences. For research in texture analysis of breast cancer and MRI, Michael Fox. For research in exercise for patients with vascular disease, Amy Elizabeth Harwood. For research in missing data in palliative care trials, Jamila Hussain. For research in EGFR and other therapeutic targets in mesothelioma, Lily Ogood. For research and developed a device to maintain human heart tissue, Imran Riaz. For research in muscle biopsy and experimental atherosclerosis, Pagonis Viri. For the degree of Doctor of Medicine and Medical Sciences, for research in surgical stress and anaesthesia, Daniel Harper. For research in cardiothoracic surgery, Azar Hussain. For research in optimising outcomes in venous insufficiency, Sandip Nandra. For research in the care priorities of haemodialysis patients, Claire Reid. For the degree of Master of Science in Health Professions Education, Dominic Patterson. And for the degree of Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery, Saba Ahmad. Emily Manger. Sohail Akhtar. Helen Alexander. Arsalan Ali. Danielle Archer. Fee Babatundi. Lucy Baker. Jennifer Barnes. Charlotte Biondi. Sarah Bolton. Aditya Borakati. Olivia Bradshaw. Jack Buchanan. Liam John Carr. George Castle. Daniel Cave. Charlie Cheetham. Jerry Chang Ping Chu. Thomas Cox. Zoe Cox. Claire Crafer. George Darling. Oliver Dixon. Freya Doswell. Sarah Eccles. Robert Eden. Isabel Eldergill Storm. Bethany Fenby Hodgson. Thomas Flamini. George Foster. Sarah Gaffing. Harriet Giles. Eleonora Jijilu. Samuel Cribben. Pratik Gurung. Samuel Haig. Adil Hack. Rebecca Harrington. Catherine Harris. Bethan Hay. Laith Hendow. Matthew Hodgson, Gail Humpleby, Ben Hurdis, Emma Imbert, Mahad Iqbal, Christopher Jeffries, Benjamin Jones, Elliot Jones-Williams, Jessica Yule, Miriam Cadicini, Carissa Kelly, Rebecca Kelly, Aisha Khan, Hiba Khan, Mohammed Khan, Joel Klassen, Maciej Krawczyk, Stephanie Landy, Martin Labrile, Emily Legg, Henrietta Leslie, Catherine Lockie, Henry Lonsdale, Martin McRae, Samir Makwana, Gabriella Marcatelli, Pavan Mason, Natasha Roya Matthews, Juliette May, Rory McGow, Luke McGurk, Daniel McNorton, Alexandra Merritt, Daniel Mills, Saqib Mir, Hitesh Mistry, Hannah Morgan, Emma Mullen, Albert George Myerscroft, Nikita Nathu, Mariana Nicholson, Tashmia Nisar, Katie Norville, Francesco Palazzo, Megan Parish, Jake Patel, Priya Patel, George Perry, Beth Pullen, Nathusha Rahunathan, Connor Rainey, Thomas Rain, Sarah Razak, Christopher Reed, Alexander Rennick, Emma Rushforth, Benjamin Rutt, Rudhir Shabir, Ayla Shariat Madari, Jack Sherlock, Catherine Sinclair, Jamon Singh, Shamanti Shivakumar, Sebastian Spencer, Cynthia Shrikanthan, Ishwarya Shrivamurthy, Gemma Stott, Peter Sudworth, Amy Schumann, Nilufar Tavangar Ranjbar, Sarah Taylor, Owen Thomas, Saranya Thuraratnam, Theodore Tyrer, Charlie Uden, Yathavan Varathan, Narayan Verma, Christian Wake, Zoe Wellbeloved, Imogen Wilson, Lawrence Wright, Davide Zanichelli, and for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medical Science, Biological, Biomedical and Environmental Sciences, Jessica Dowell. Josephine Walshaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ensemble Eonomy will perform Moon Dance, arranged by Van Morrison, followed by Bridge Over Troubled Water, arranged by Simon and Garfunkel.
It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. A fantabulous night to make romance neath the cover of October skies. And all the leaves on the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow. And I'm trying to please to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low.
And all the night's magic seems to whisper, and all the star of romance seems to shine in your blush. Can I just have one more dance with you? My love, can I just make some more romance with you? My love.
Well, I wanna make love to you tonight. I can't wait till the morning is come. And I know now time is just right. And straight into my arms you will run. When you come out, I will be waiting to make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true. There and then I will make you my own.
And every time I touch you, you just tremble inside my love. And I know how much you want me that you can hide. Can I just have one more dance with you? My love, can I just make some more dance with you? My love.
I just have one more moon dance with you. My
When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will comfort you. I'll take you apart. When darkness falls and pain is all around, like a bridge over troubled water,
I will lay me down.
like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me
Sail on, silver girl. Sail on by.
Your time has come to shine. Oh, your dreams are on their way. See how they shine.
it is my enormous pleasure to introduce Christian Wake, our student orator, who will speak on behalf of the class of 2018. Our student orators have been invited to speak in recognition of their incredible hard work on behalf of the student community and commitment to their studies. Our speakers have both pursued the most enriching experience they could during their time at university, as well as giving back to their community. On behalf of the class of 2018, I give you Christian Wake.
Thank you for that introduction, Mary. Distinguished guests, faculty, alumni, proud parents, and above all, graduating class of 2018. I feel honoured to have this opportunity to speak to you all as part of this graduation ceremony. Today is a special day as we celebrate the achievements of Hull York Medical School's class of 2018 and the 10th anniversary of the school's first graduating class of MBBS students. Although, I must admit, my biggest achievement today will not be graduation, it will be the miracle of climbing those stairs twice without falling over. For most of us, the journey to today's graduation has been a marathon, filled with memories, experiences and challenges that have shaped who we are and evolved us into the clinicians we are about to become. By providing the opportunity to be part of a community that encourages our learning and drives our passion for medicine, the Hull York Medical School has guided our career paths and cemented our desire to make a difference. As we stand here today, ready to graduate and affirm our commitment to the medical profession, it is important not to forget the support and guidance that we have received along the way from those closest to us. Now that our time here is ending, on behalf of all graduates, I'd like to extend my utmost gratitude to those family members, friends and staff that have kindly joined us in this hall. You have been our safety net and provided the foundations that have allowed us to reach this milestone today. Personally speaking, I'd also like to thank my own parents for having faith in me. I've certainly not had a smooth ride to get here, but as they've always said, it's not important how you start the race, you simply have to believe in yourself, remain focused and cross the finish line. I can think back to many situations where my potential has been doubted and my self-belief has wavered. 4 years ago, I was in a difficult place personally, in which every aspect of my life seemed to spiral downwards. This provided me with an internal crisis that jeopardised my friendships and threatened a career that I'd dreamt about since being a young boy. I wanted to tell you this today for a simple reason. Stumbling in life is not a sign of failure. It's a time to dig your heels in deep and wait for the storm to pass. When you suddenly and unexpectedly see your achievements appear to crumble, remind yourself that from today, you have succeeded. Those achievements are now ours to own, and no one can take this away from us. Going forward, we're going to enter into a fast-evolving workplace where there'll be new challenges, more opportunities, and many successes. Together, we're going to face situations where our workload will be burdened, our abilities will be challenged, and our resilience will be tested. As I'm sure you're all aware, the healthcare system is under considerable strain. As graduates from today, we have a duty to safeguard it and ensure its survival. Remember, when the environment around appears to lack integrity, the way to change this is to find integrity from within yourself. Class of 2018, as we cross the finish line today, let us think about what we have learned during our time at Hull York Medical School, but more importantly, about the people that has helped us become. In the future, we're all going to have hurdles to overcome, but look at these as an opportunity to do what we have been taught to do best, to reflect, to reevaluate, and most importantly, to learn from it and grow. Thank you very much. I would now like to invite my fellow doctors and graduates to please stand and join me in reciting the World Medical Association Declaration of Geneva. At the time of being admitted as a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. The health of my patient will be my first concern. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me, even after the patient has died. I will maintain, by all the means of my power, the honour and the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my sisters and brothers. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I will make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honour. Thank you. Please be seated. Congratulations, class of 2018. It's been a pleasure to share this journey with you, and I wish you all the very best of luck for the future.
Chancellor, I have the honour and privilege to present Professor Dame Anne Johnson, a UK epidemiologist renowned for her work in the areas of HIV, sexually transmitted infections, and infectious diseases. Human sexual behaviour represents one of the least explored segments of biology, psychology, and sociology. Scientifically, more has been known about the sexual behaviour of some of the farm and laboratory animals. So wrote Alfred Kinsey in 1948. An article in Nature in 1990 observed that nothing much had changed in the intervening years. That is, until Professor Dame Anne Johnson and her colleagues, immersed in a daily fight against the viral infection commonly known as HIV/AIDS, designed the first national survey of sexual attitudes and lifestyles, known as NatSal. Pathogens make headlines, as Dame Anne Riley observed in a keynote address at the Academy of Medical Sciences in 2013. For those of you graduating today, it is perhaps difficult to get a sense of the international hysteria which surrounded the discovery of HIV/AIDS and the stigma associated with the disease in the mid-1980s. Anne Johnson was completing her medical training in Newcastle when the first account of HIV/AIDS began to hit news headlines around the world. Already determined to break into the field of public health and epidemiology, her first job at Middlesex Hospital was to design a ward for patients diagnosed with AIDS, a diagnosis at that time with a survival rate of less than 6 months. The ward was opened by the then Princess of Wales, and a now iconic photograph of Princess Diana talking to a patient in that ward was beamed around the world, starting to ameliorate the hysterical attitudes towards AIDS and those who suffered from the disease. What is interesting, as Dame Anne subsequently observed, is that the patient's face is not seen in that shot, a deliberate choice because of the stigma then associated with HIV. Middlesex Hospital was treating some of the UK's first cases of AIDS and carrying out early work to determine the prevalence of HIV antibodies among gay men in the capital. As the number of cases rose rapidly, fears grew. The Royal College of Nursing predicted the number of infections would reach 1 million by 1991. There were increasing demands for accurate information and projections. However, there were little data available on the number of sexually active gay men, how many partners people had, or the dynamics of transmission. Researchers were operating in the dark. In an interview with the Wellcome Trust, Dame Anne described her eureka moment when drinking a cup of tea one afternoon with colleagues in 1986. At this stage, nobody had any idea how big the HIV epidemic was going to be, she says. Projections were made, but largely based on extrapolating curves. People were very sceptical because there was an order of magnitude of difference in the predictions. What was going to happen next? At the time, there were plenty of studies on the sexual behaviours of specific cohorts, but studying what the population at large was getting up to in their bedrooms was seen as less acceptable. Dame Anne noted, "I remember saying one day, we really ought to do a general population-based study on sexual behaviour with a proper random sample." She went on, "I remember a senior colleague, a professor who was studying behaviour in gay men, looking at me with an expression that suggests I'd cracked. We forgot that discussion of sex was much more hidden back then. People really didn't talk about these things at dinner parties." The National Survey of Sexual Attitudes and Lifestyles, NatSal-1, was launched in 1991, but the pathway to launching the first NatSal study was rocky. Funding had been sought from the Economic and Social Research Council, but for 6 months nothing was heard, until the Sunday Times broke the story that Margaret Thatcher, the then Prime Minister, had halted a survey on sex, believing that the study was an invasion of people's privacy and she did not want her government associated with it. Fortunately, the Wellcome Trust stepped in, subsequently took up the baton, and within 9 days of that press release, an application was submitted and funded, providing the funding to enable the survey to proceed. The data from that survey and subsequent NatSal surveys were used to underpin projections of the likely spread of HIV in the development of AIDS prevention and general sexual health strategies for sex education and for contraceptive service planning. The surveys also had other wider uses that had not necessarily been anticipated, which included using the findings of the discussions that preceded lowering the age of consent for gay sex from 18 to 16 in England, Scotland and Wales in the year 2000, bringing it in line with the heterosexual age of consent for the first time. Throughout her clinical research career, Dame Anne has focused on the prevention of HIV and sexually transmitted disease. Her work has included subsequent NatSal follow-ups in 2000 and 2010 to investigate sexual lifestyles and track changes in sexual behaviour over time. She has also designed and run international HIV cohort studies and behavioural intervention studies and led randomised controlled trials of behavioural interventions to promote sexual health. Aside from HIV research, Dame Anne has also researched the epidemiological and immunobiological determinants of seasonal and pandemic flu transmission. Pivotal research that I was privileged to learn a lot about when Dame Anne and I worked closely together on the Medical Research Council's Infection and Immunity Board. Dame Anne is now Professor of Infectious Disease Epidemiology and Chair of the Grand Challenge for Global Health at University College London, where she was formerly Director of the university's Division of Population Health. Dame Anne was Chair of the Medical Research Council Population Health Sciences Group until 2010, and is currently a National Institute for Health Research Senior Investigator. She has been recognised by fellowships of the Academy of Medical Sciences, the Royal College of Physicians, the Royal College of General Practitioners, and the Faculty of Public Health, and is a Governor of the Wellcome Trust. Dame Anne's life has been dedicated to developing and implementing public health strategies that have improved the lives of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Her extraordinary achievements in the fields of public health, immunology, and infectious diseases all have strong correlation with this university's research interests and areas of focused excellence. Finally, it is worth remembering that when the first NatSal survey findings were published in 1994, the press headlines were, to say the least, dubious. 2 headlines particularly resonate. "No sex, please, we're scientists," and a caption accompanying a photograph of Dame Anne and her female colleagues entitled, "4 Women in Search of Vital Statistics." Plus ça change. Dame Anne is an exemplar of York's strong track record in promoting and celebrating the achievement of women in science and medicine, and more broadly, female academic achievement, something we can never be complacent about. I am also delighted to say that Anne is a long-term friend and musical co-conspirator. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Professor Dame Anne Johnson to you for the degree of Doctor of the University honoris causa.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here on a beautiful summer's day. What a fabulous city you all live in. Chancellor, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, members of the faculty, graduands, and their families and friends. First and foremost, I wish to thank the University of York most sincerely for this immense honour and privilege of the award of an honorary doctorate, and for such a very warm welcome, which I know, as a good northern girl, one only finds well north of Birmingham. It's particularly special to join the graduates of the Hull York Medical School, one of the newest medical schools in the country, which prides itself on its innovative approaches to teaching, and to see here the 10th cohort of graduates graduate. It's very special for me because I hesitate to say that it's 40 years since I graduated in Newcastle. And at that graduation, my parents and friends, like yours, were present. And I'm particularly delighted that the university invited my husband and daughter here today. And so, of course, I want to thank, and I think to thank all the parents and friends here on the behalf of all the graduates, from the bottom of my heart, for the support, tolerance and encouragement I've had from my own family. But today is a celebration of a great deal of hard work for all the graduates. And I guess many of you have already decided exactly your future path. No? Well, there might be just a few who, like me, on graduation day, were just a bit of a tad uncertain about the direction their future would take. And all I can say is, what a good thing that uncertainty was. Debbie, and she's the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, but she's also, she said, a friend, and we used to sing together in a choir. What a great thing to do to make you feel better on the end of a stressful day. But it was a good thing for me because, as you've heard, she's described my career to you. It sounds like it was incredibly planned. But actually, it was all about opportunity. My career couldn't have been planned because the disease I have worked on had not even been discovered in human populations when I first set out to work on it. And you've heard about the first AIDS cases. We know now there's a global epidemic affecting tens of millions of people. And it was almost a chance meeting that led me to that career, a chance meeting that led me to work at the Middlesex Hospital. And I had no idea, even though it sounds like it was an easy course, of the panoply of experience that medicine would offer me. So many aspects of medicine have touched my life from that one disease, from basic science in virology and immunology to the search for effective treatments and the still unmet ambition for an effective vaccine that we thought we would find 30 years ago. But you see, what interested me was how human biology interacts with human society. How could we overcome the stigma and discrimination that affected all those affected with AIDS? How could we raise public awareness? How could we work on prevention? Every generation of reports on the future of the health service talk about how we must invest further in prevention. And I'm saying this to the chair of the NHS. We never invest enough in it. And we pay far too much attention to the acute problems before us. There were many that we faced. That first ward that Debbie described, were those that, as Professor Smith described, were full of people who were dying of HIV. One of them, indeed, was from my cohort in medical school. How important it was, therefore, to work on the treatments of HIV that could prevent both transmission and could also lead to changes in survival of people from HIV. I have seen over my career a revolution in medicine, technological, but also in fields of public health. Now, people with HIV who died in those early days can live a normal lifestyle because of the advances in antiretroviral treatment. And also we know that those treatments are part of prevention because they prevent people both passing on and acquiring the virus. What a breathtaking journey for medicine and for the health of the population. Your Chancellor's encouragement when he was at University College London enabled us to establish an Institute of Global Health, something that hasn't been mentioned here. But I also want to thank him too for encouraging me alongside many other people to lead new areas in health, and I hope that all of you will do this in your own careers as well, which led me into entirely new paths, including the impacts of global climate change on health. What a feast of experience in the University of Life a medical degree can give. For me, little of it was planned, and most of it rested on serendipity and seizing opportunity. I wish you all the best in your future careers, wherever they may take you. Who knows what the future of medicine holds? There are great opportunities in digital health that I believe will revolutionise the way we practice medicine in the future. We won't be bound by clinics and hospitals. How far will genomics really help us to practice personalised medicine? How will people be able to participate and understand the changing ways that we can treat disease and prevent it? And how will we reduce the immense health inequalities evident, I'm sure, across this area as in many others? And will we really be able to go on treating infections as antimicrobial resistance inexorably increases? And how well will you care for my generation when we are old and frail? We're all counting on you. No pressure. I hope you all find your way, using your heads, but following your hearts. And congratulations to everybody and my fellow graduates for a wonderful day and a wonderful visit to York. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment I will draw this congregation to a close, but before I do, I know that you would wish to join me in thanking Dame Anne for such an inspired address and for such a remarkable career as an example to all of us, not only of achievement but of seizing opportunity. Anne, thank you so much for that. People often ask me what it's like to be up here, shaking hands as young graduates come across the table. I should say graduands, because we have this sort of formal distinction that you're a graduand as you sit there, but through some magical application of a handshake with the Chancellor, you become a graduate as you go off the other end of the stage. And I have to say the emotion is one of great inspiration, of seeing this brilliant group of people who we know. And I love that Geneva Declaration, let nothing come between you and your duty to the patient. Really strikes me as the profound definition of a vocation, not just a 9-to-5 job, not even just a profession, but a vocation of doing the very best for the patients that we have the honour to serve. I'm sometimes worried that the students won't make it across the stage. The advent of high heels sometimes gets in the way. But I'm reminded of the story of a young man who arrived late for his graduation ceremony, having been up all night celebrating the performance of his national football team the night before, and had managed to sneak into the side and take his place unnoticed, dressed as a kangaroo. So this was really quite a difficult thing. He got up onto the stage and started to jump up and down, jumped up and down, jumped up and down, and suddenly there was this great splintering sound, and he disappeared. There was a silence right across the auditorium, broken only by his mother, who said, "Ignore him, it's just the stage he's going through." And so it is the stage you didn't go through but crossed over today, for which our congratulations. In closing, I'd like to pay particular tribute to Christopher Wake for that inspired address on behalf of the graduating class. I'd like to thank also our student choral group, E Anonyme, for those magnificent renditions of unaccompanied singing. I'd like to thank on your behalf, in particular, the teaching faculty represented here today in the auditorium. And of course, there are many, many hundreds behind them who have contributed so much to your study and to your research. And I would also add the NHS staff who have participated in your education and training and will, I'm sure, continue into the future. I'd like to thank all of you parents and supporters and guardians and friends and grandparents and children. I hope I've covered just about the whole panoply, because nothing happens down there without your warm and generous support. And I think Christian paid eloquent testimony to how much that matters. These are challenging and difficult degree courses that our graduates have entered into, and they enter now a very uncertain world, as Dame Anne Johnson has explained to us. But with your support, they will see that through. And I would like to invite them to join me in expressing our gratitude to the parents and supporters who are with us today. So our thanks also to all those who make these ceremonies possible. But in closing, can I ask you all please to join me once again in congratulating the achievements of this brilliant class of 2018 who will go out into medical practice or other aspects through which they deploy their professional qualification and will make a difference. I declare this congregation for the conferment of awards to be closed. Thank you all so much.